Okay, YouTube. So this is Kenneth 14621, and these are my wild card first round of the playoff predictions. Now I haven't watched as much football this year as I usually have because I've been really busy. So a lot of these teams I don't know a whole lot about. I mean, I still keep up with the stats and I watch a lot of sports channels, that break down these games and stuff like that. I've seen most of these teams. I've watched games of them playing, but one team I haven't is the Chargers, and I don't remember if I've watched. I watched Baltimore a little bit, but so here's my picks, okay, and I'm gonna try to break them down. So you have Indianapolis and Houston. I'm sorry, but I don't know why Indianapolis doesn't have as good a record. I think Andrew Luck was injured earlier in the year or something like that. They had some injuries, but they've got Andrew Luck back, and they've got those guys back. And since they've had them back, and Andrew Luck has hit his stride, don't he's been injured for the past couple of years. He hasn't been lighting it up like he usually does, but this year he is back to the Andrew Luck of old, which is Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady-esque. It's right up there in that echelon. So, and I know Houston has Deshaun Watson. I'm not saying that, well, I think I'm not going to say Luck is a better quarterback than Watson. I guess I will go ahead and say it since he's been in the league more and he's done it more often. But, but Deshaun Watson can play just as good as Luck, so, he's doing it this year. So, but the Texans, I've looked over their schedule. I don't think that they've had to play very tough teams this year. I mean, aside from the Colts, and the Titans in their division. But a lot of their games were against easy teams, I thought. So, and, they just lost to the Eagles, and I just don't think they're rolling as much as the Colts. I don't think the Colts have lost in many weeks, This is more of a pick about who's hot and who's not. And I just think right now, Indianapolis is hotter than Houston. And I don't think Houston will be able to beat them. But this will be a good game because these two teams are in the same division. They play each other twice a year. Texans have played the Colts twice a year since they came into the league. And they played Andrew Luck a lot. So don't think that they don't know how to deal with him. But I'm going to pick the Colts nonetheless. And then you have the Chargers and the Ravens. I know the Ravens are doing really good. I think they have, I don't know if they have they might have, I don't know. Don't they have the number one defense? I don't know. Don't get me to guessing. And I know the Ravens are pretty good, but I just feel with Phillip Rivers throwing the ball like he is, I just think the Chargers are going to win. The Chargers they're always dangerous when they have Phillip Rivers, but the pieces haven't fell into place for them over the past 5-10 years, But this year, all the pieces fall into place. They've got everybody healthy that they need, you know what I mean? Like, football's a lot about who's healthy. You could have a better team, but if you got more injuries and the other team's more healthy, sometimes that makes a difference. Sometimes whoever wins the Super Bowl is just the healthiest team, not the best. So I'm going to pick the Chargers. And I know it seems like I'm just picking the best teams, but I'm really analyzing this. And then you have the Seahawks and the Cowboys. And I expect this to be a fairly decent game. I mean, even if the Seahawks beat the Cowboys pretty bad, I don't think they're going to blow them out. But and this is my team right here, the Cowboys. But ever since for the past 3 or 4 years since we've had Dak Prescott, and since when we had, well, I don't know about when we had Romo, but since we've had Dak Prescott and we've had this great offensive line and everything, we've always had a tough time with Russell Wilson because he can run around in the pocket. And the thing that makes the Cowboys good is their defense. See what I'm saying? If we can hold you to very low points, we can beat you. But what makes our defense click is getting pressure on the quarterback. That's why the Colts blew us out 23-0, because they have a great offensive line and we couldn't get to the quarterback. And that's how much that affected us, that we lost 23-0. It is a major thing for us if we can't sack the quarterback. And every time we play Russell Wilson, he just runs and runs and runs and runs around in the pocket. And we cannot sack him. And then he throws the ball downfield for a long throw. And we don't have the blitzing scheme to beat him. We get pressure with our 4 linemen. We're not a great scheming defense that has great exotic blitzes and ways to get to the quarterback. We just straight up put our finger in the grass and get after your ass. We can do it, but we can't do it against Russell Wilson. So I'm picking the Seahawks in that game. And then I'd tell you, I've been picking the Seahawks before I even knew who was favored. Same thing with these other games. And so then you have Philadelphia and Chicago. Well, Philadelphia, man, now this is a tough one. Man, I don't want to mess up on this one. I was gonna pick the Bears, but I'm gonna tell you, man, when Nick Foles is out there, let me see if Nick Foles. I guess Nick Foles is healthy. Wait a minute, let me see. Nick Foles. Injury update. I don't think he's injured. Let's see, Nick. Okay, so Nick Foles is going to be healthy, so I'm going to go out on a limb here. Man, dude, I know Philadelphia isn't playing that good this year, but if they had Carson Wentz, I'll tell you, let me tell you something. People say, you are retarded if you say Nick Foles is better than Carson Wentz. Nick Foles came in earlier this year and did bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying over a 4-game stretch, and I'm saying in the playoffs, Nick Foles, we haven't seen Wentz in the playoffs, but in the playoffs, Nick Foles is better than the Wentz regular season. I know that. And I just think that Nick Foles is going to put up like 400 yards against the Bears, and that they're going to beat them. So, I mean, I really hate to do this because I had my heart set on picking the Bears, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Eagles in an upset on this one. Go ahead and do it. Because the Eagles beat the Texans. Well, I started thinking about that, man. Those Texans are good, dude. They are good. But that's my iffy game right there, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Eagles. So there you go. So I've got Chargers, Colts, Seahawks, and Eagles. There you go, folks. There is my first round playoff predictions. I'll have my second round after the first round. Thank you very much.